EU settlement scheme and relationship breakdown. If you are the spouse of an EU national and you have pre-settled status on that basis and you have ended up in a divorce. So this is a common thing. I just wanted to point this out that everyone gets this wrong. One of the important tests is, yes, you should have been in a relationship for at least, your marriage should have existed for 3 years. Of that 3 years, at least 1 year you should have lived together in the UK. So that is one side of it. Second point, when you file the application, one of the important questions that you are faced with is the date of divorce. Let's say if your date of divorce is 1st of February 2025, on the date of divorce, was the EU national in the UK? Yes and no. That's how the application goes. But if for any reason, let's say on that date, the EU national was not in the UK, they have been resident in the UK, they are working or living in the UK, but they have been gone to some other country, to EU nation or to their own home country or wherever, it doesn't change anything. If they were resident on the date of divorce, this is what Home Office gets wrong. Many times applications are refused because on that question, even on the application forms for retention of rights under the EA regulations before Brexit, and also on the application forms under the EU settlement scheme, if you apply for pre-settled status as a retention of rights, in that case, the questions may direct you saying, on this particular date of divorce, was the EU national in the UK? If you answer no, the caseworker may get it wrong, they may refuse the application. That is not the real requirement. Even Home Office gets it wrong. Sometimes law is interpreted wrong, whatever that is. If you look at the rules, if you look at the EA regulations or even the withdrawal agreement or settlement scheme, wherever you are reading it, the rule requires continuity of residence test. The test that they have to do for the EU national, they have to test the EU national's continuity of residence. On that 1st of February 2025, let's say in my example, that is the decree absolute when it was declared, was the EU national in the UK? That's one side. If he was in the UK, that's fine. But if he was not in the UK, on that date, was he resident in the UK? Did he have, was he maintaining a residence in the UK? Was he just out for some holiday or any work related matters? But he maintained his continuity of residence on the date of divorce, then still the retention of rights, you do qualify. The spouse, the non-EU national, would still qualify for retention of rights. Just the date of divorce is not the relevant point. On the date of divorce, physical presence does not matter. The EU national should have been maintained continuity of residence, though they are not physically present in the UK. This is something that I think many times when other lawyers are also advising, they may get it wrong. Even caseworkers definitely get it wrong. I've seen that because the form, the way it is designed, it's a yes and no answer. On this day, when was the divorce? 1st February. Was the EU national in the UK on that date? No. So in that case, that's how they interpret it. But then that is not the test. The test is continuity of residence on the date of divorce of the EU national in the UK. They should have maintained their residence. They had a house, rented a place, whatever. They had a job in the UK, whatever. There are many ways to prove residency. So that is a very important point that many times Home Office gets it wrong, and it can be challenged in appeals and all, and it can be sorted. So that is what the judge would look at in case of appeals. So if you are in such situation, if you are filing any such applications for retained rights or trying to file settled status on the basis of retained rights, then you can book a paid consultation with us. We do advise on these matters. We file appeals, applications, everything. So yes, the links will be there in our channel information. We do advise during paid consultations. We don't provide any free advice. Thank you very much.